quiet light has gone out in this world, but it now burns brighter in eternity. Pope Francis, a true shepherd of mercy, has returned home. A man who lived with boundless love, who cared for the poorest, and who embraced the world with open arms, has left us. But while his voice may have grown silent in this life, the echoes of his wisdom and faith continue to resonate in every heart, especially those who are chosen by God. Pope Francis embodied a kind of holiness that transcends religious boundaries. His words spoke directly to the soul, urging us all to follow the path of mercy, humility, and love. In this moment of his passing, we find a call to carry forward his legacy and live the values he so deeply imparted. This is not a time to mourn, but to reflect on the divine purpose behind his life, and the divine purpose still alive in each one of us. If you feel spiritually different, like something inside you is awakening, pulling you toward a divine purpose, then perhaps, just perhaps, you are one of the chosen ones. For those who feel the stirring in their spirit, Pope Francis' words were not just for the crowds he led. They were meant for you. You are being called. You were always meant to hear these messages, and they were left behind, especially for this time. As we reflect on the passing of such a great man, let us remember that his life wasn't just about what he said. It was about how he lived. Pope Francis showed us how to walk with mercy, how to embrace the poor and the needy, and how to seek God's love in all things. As we honor him today, we honor the divine mission that we each carry within us. His words weren't mere wisdom. They were divine truths that speak to those who are spiritually aligned. They speak to the chosen ones. Many of us feel that the world has lost a voice of wisdom, but for those who have ears to hear, his voice is now even clearer. The passing of Pope Francis reminds us all that we are not here by accident. There is a divine purpose behind our lives, behind your life. If you feel a deep connection to the words of mercy and love that Pope Francis spoke, know this: you are walking a sacred path. For the chosen ones, the world's darkness cannot dim the light within. His passing is not an end. It is a divine reminder that we are all called to be light bearers in this world, just as he was. As we move forward, let us not only remember Pope Francis' legacy, but also remember the message he left for us to carry. Do not be afraid, he often said, for God is with you. Those words were not just for his time. They are for you, the chosen ones, in these end times. You are meant to rise, to carry God's light, and to share his mercy with the world. Just as Pope Francis did, you are called to be a servant of love. His death may mark the end of a chapter in this world, but his life, and the message he left behind, remains an eternal truth. And that truth, beloved, is a call for each of us to embrace our divine purpose, to walk in the light, and to carry the torch he has passed on to us. Purpose. Acknowledge Pope Francis' passing and the profound impact he had on the world. Frame the episode as a divine wisdom memorial, paying tribute to Pope Francis' teachings of mercy, love, and service. Highlight the message for the chosen ones, calling them to embrace their divine purpose in the end times and carry forward the legacy of Pope Francis in their own spiritual lives. Forgiveness is not merely a gesture. It is a divine weapon, a tool of healing, a shield for the soul, and a doorway to spiritual freedom. Pope Francis, in his deep wisdom and unwavering faith, understood the immense power that forgiveness holds, not just in the context of religion, but in the everyday lives of those who seek to walk in the light of Christ. His words remind us that while God never tires of offering his forgiveness, it is we, the children of God, who are often weary of seeking it. But those who are called, those who are truly chosen by God, are called not to judge but to forgive, to heal, and to offer grace where the world may offer condemnation. Forgiveness is not forgetting what happened. It's remembering that love is greater. It's not a sign of weakness but one of immense strength. It takes a strong heart to forgive, and it takes a soul who is grounded in divine purpose to look beyond the pain and see the possibility of restoration. The chosen ones, like Pope Francis, understand this deeply. They don't hold on to grudges. They extend their hands in mercy. Just like Jesus, they come to heal the brokenness, soothe the hurt, and offer peace to a world full of turmoil. Chosen insight, healers, not accusers. Those called by God, those who are his chosen vessels, are not meant to be accusers or judges. They are meant to be healers. The world is full of pain, hurt, and misunderstanding. Yet it is the chosen ones who carry the divine responsibility to bring light into this darkness. It is not through judgment that we heal, but through grace. This is the paradox that Pope Francis taught through his actions and his words. He saw the brokenness in the world, not as a reason for condemnation, but as an invitation to extend mercy. When Pope Francis washed the feet of prisoners, he wasn't just performing a symbolic act of service. He was showing the world the radical nature of mercy. These were people who, by society's standards, were often seen as unworthy of grace. Yet Pope Francis extended his love to them, just as Christ did. This was a vivid representation of what it means to live as one of the chosen ones, to offer mercy, not because it is deserved, but because it is a reflection of God's boundless love for all of his children. Example, Pope Francis washing prisoners' feet, a radical act of mercy. Perhaps one of the most powerful examples of Pope Francis' approach to forgiveness and mercy was the act of washing the feet of prisoners. This was not a typical gesture. It was a radical display of humility and grace. In a world that often demonizes those who have fallen into sin, Pope Francis showed us a different way. He reminded us that no one is beyond the reach of God's love and that every human being, no matter their past or their mistakes, deserves mercy. The washing of feet is symbolic of how we are called to wash away the stains of sin, to offer the pure love of Christ to the broken, and to embrace those who others might cast aside. Forgiveness as a divine weapon. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's not weakness, it's strength. It's not easy, but it is a divine weapon. It's the key to your healing and the healing of the world. Just as Pope Francis did, we are called to offer mercy when the world expects judgment. When we forgive, we become a vessel for that divine grace to heal not just ourselves but the world around us. We don't need to forget the hurt we've endured, but we need to choose to release the power of that pain over us. It's only through forgiveness that we are free. As a chosen one, you are called to be a healer, not a judge. You are not here to condemn others. You are here to offer the same mercy that God has so freely given to you. Forgiveness is not about denying the truth of the pain, but it's about choosing to release it so that you can walk forward in freedom. You are meant to be a source of light in a world full of darkness. Just as Pope Francis washed the feet of those society had cast away, you too are called to extend love and grace, even when the world tells you otherwise. Chosen ones offer light, not judgment. Mercy and grace are not just words to be spoken. They are truths to be lived. The chosen ones offer light, not judgment. They are called to reflect the love of Christ in everything they do, especially in their forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about waiting for the other person to apologize or make things right. It's about offering mercy freely, just as God offers it to us. It's a divine gift, one that transforms both the one who gives it and the one who receives it. When Pope Francis washed the feet of prisoners, it wasn't just an act of kindness. It was a radical demonstration of God's mercy, showing us all that no one is beyond redemption. He chose to forgive, to serve, to love, because that is the heart of what it means to be a chosen one. To forgive, to heal, to restore, to be a light. Pope Francis' life was a testament to this truth. We are called to offer mercy and grace, not because it is deserved, but because God's love is endless. Forgiveness is a divine weapon in a world that often chooses division over unity. It's a choice you make every day, whether to hold on to the pain or to let it go. Forgiveness allows you to move forward, to carry God's light into every corner of your life. When Pope Francis washed the feet of those who had fallen into darkness, he chose to offer light, to offer mercy, and to offer love. You, as one of the chosen ones, are called to do the same. No matter the offense, no matter the hurt, you are called to forgive, to heal, and to offer grace to the world around you. And just like Pope Francis did in his life, you too are called to embody mercy in every moment. It's through forgiveness that we become instruments of divine healing, and it's through forgiveness that we find our true freedom in Christ. Do not be afraid to welcome Christ. He takes nothing away and gives everything. Pope Francis, in the darkest of times, when the storms of life rage and the winds of uncertainty howl, it is easy to feel as though we are alone, caught in a tempest with no hope of escape. But those who are chosen by God understand a deeper truth. We are not given the task of walking through these storms because it's easy, but because we are destined to endure with a purpose. We carry the light of faith into the heart of the storm, and it is this very light that will guide us through. When Pope Francis spoke these words, he wasn't merely offering a platitude. He was reminding us of a divine promise, that Christ, when welcomed into our hearts, does not take anything from us. Instead, he gives everything. This is the heart of faith, especially in these end times. The world may be filled with trials, tribulations, and storms, but the chosen ones are called to walk through these turbulent days with unwavering faith, knowing that Christ's light will never fail. Chosen path, walking through darkness with unwavering light. The chosen are not exempt from the storms of life. Their journey is often marked by greater challenges and greater trials. But here's the truth. These trials are not meant to break them. They are meant to refine them, to shape them into the warriors of light that they were born to be. Spiritual warfare is real. It is the battle between light and darkness, between hope and despair. But the chosen ones are equipped with the unwavering light of faith that no storm can extinguish. Imagine a great storm, the wind howling, the sky darkening, the rain pouring down. The world around you seems to be falling apart. Yet, in the center of it all, you kneel in prayer, grounded in your faith, unwavering in your trust that God has a plan for your pain. The storm may rage, but you remain unshaken because you know that the one who holds the universe in his hands will never leave you or forsake you. This image of the storm is not one of fear, but one of divine purpose. The chosen ones kneel in prayer not because they are without fear, but because they know that amid the storm, Christ is present. They don't run from the storm, and they don't shy away from it. They face it with courage, knowing that each storm they endure brings them closer to God's purpose for their lives. The storms of life are part of the journey. They are not punishments, but opportunities. Opportunities to trust more deeply, to surrender more fully, and to emerge stronger in faith. This is the message that Pope Francis shared with us throughout his life. That Christ does not take from us but gives everything. In the darkest times, Christ gives us his presence, his peace, and his strength. This is the hope that sustains the chosen ones through every trial. Faith in end times, spiritual trials, and divine purpose. We are living in uncertain times. Times when the world seems to be teetering on the edge of something greater. But these are also the times when God's light shines the brightest. The chosen ones are not called to live in fear of the end times, but to carry faith through them. Amid spiritual trials and hardship, the chosen ones are the bearers of divine light, standing firm in their faith, knowing that God's plan is greater than any storm that might come their way. Spiritual trials are not signs that we are abandoned by God. On the contrary, they are signs that God is refining us, shaping us into the warriors of light that we were meant to be. Pope Francis often spoke of the importance of perseverance, of holding on to faith even when the world around us seems to be crumbling. His message was one of hope, that even in the end times, even as the storms of life intensify, God's plan for us remains intact. We are not here by accident. We are here by divine design. Pope Francis' message of hope. Christ takes nothing. He gives everything. Pope Francis' message was clear. Christ takes nothing from us but gives everything. In the end, at times, when the world may seem to be unraveling, this message becomes even more important. We may lose material things. We may face suffering and hardship. But through it all, Christ gives us everything. His love, His grace, His eternal hope. The chosen ones are called to carry this hope into the world, to remind others that, no matter how dark it may seem, Christ's light will always shine. The storms may come, but they do not define us. Our faith defines us, the faith that is planted in our hearts by God's divine will. The storms of life are temporary, but the light of faith within us is eternal. As Pope Francis so beautifully put it, do not be afraid to welcome Christ. In these end times, when fear is so prevalent, it is the chosen ones who are called to welcome Christ with open arms, to trust that He is with us through every trial, and to walk with Him through the storm. You are chosen, not because life is easy, but because you were born to endure with purpose. You are chosen not because life is easy, but because you were born to endure with purpose. This is a truth that can sustain you in the hardest of times. The world may try to tell you that your pain is pointless, that your struggles are in vain. But the truth is that your pain has a purpose. Your journey through the storm has a divine design. You are being refined, strengthened, and shaped by the Creator of the universe. Pope Francis' life was a testament to this truth. He endured his own storms, health battles, struggles within the church, and the weight of leadership in turbulent times. Yet, through it all, he remained steadfast in his faith, always looking to Christ as his guide. His message to the chosen ones was clear: you are not alone in the storm. Christ is with you, and he will never take away what you need to endure. The storms of life are inevitable. We cannot avoid them, and sometimes we cannot understand why they come. But we can carry faith through them. The chosen ones are called to endure, not because life is easy, but because they are born to fulfill a divine purpose. And in the midst of it all, they hold onto the promise that Christ will never take from them, but will give everything. No matter what the end times may bring, we are never without hope. Christ's light will always guide us through. Divine love, the ultimate proof of the chosen. To change the world, we must be good to those who cannot repay us. Pope Francis. There's a powerful truth that rings throughout the words of Pope Francis, and it's this: to change the world, we must be good to those who cannot repay us. These words are more than just a call to kindness. They are a blueprint for the divine love that flows through the chosen ones. Love is not a transactional thing. It is not about what we get in return. It's about what we give freely. Unconditional Christian love is the hallmark of the chosen ones. They are not driven by the desire for recognition, nor are they motivated by the expectation of being paid back. Instead, they love because they have received a love so great, so divine, that it spills over into every action, every word, and every moment. When Pope Francis speaks of serving those who cannot repay us, he is speaking directly to the heart of the chosen, those who live out the gospel in ways that the world may never fully see but that heaven certainly recognizes. Soul message: the chosen don't just talk love, they live it. When you're chosen by God, love isn't just something you talk about. It's something you live. It's not enough to say that you love others, you show it. You embody it in your daily actions, even when it's difficult. The chosen ones understand that love is the essence of what it means to live as Christ did. It's not about grand gestures or public displays. It's about the quiet, unspoken acts of kindness and mercy that change lives. The world often looks for love in the wrong places. It searches for love in fame, in power, in wealth. But the love that changes the world, the love that truly transforms, is not a love that asks for anything in return. It's a love that reaches out to the broken, the lost, and the least. The chosen ones are called to be the vessels of this love, and they do so by living it out in their relationships, in their communities, and their everyday lives. Actionable point: feed someone who can't return the favor. Think about the people in your life. Who in your circle needs love right now? Who is hungry, not just for food, but for the love that will never ask for anything back? Pope Francis challenges us to reach out to those who cannot repay us, and to show love without expecting anything in return. Could be as simple as feeding someone who is struggling, or it could be offering forgiveness to someone who has never apologized. This kind of love doesn't keep score. It doesn't demand an apology or a thank you. It simply gives because it knows that love is its reward. The chosen ones are not waiting for others to change before they offer love. They are offering it freely because they understand that this is how Christ loved them. And when you love like this, you reflect the very nature of God. You become a living testament to the truth that love is the most powerful force in the universe. Serving the poor, a reflection of spiritual character. One of the most poignant ways that the chosen demonstrate divine love is through their service to the poor. Pope Francis often spoke about how the poor are not just the ones in physical need, they are the ones in spiritual need too. And when you serve the poor, you're not just meeting their material needs, You're offering them a glimpse of God's eternal love. The chosen ones serve without expecting a reward because they know that in every act of kindness, they are serving Christ himself. When you feed the hungry, clothe the naked, or care for the sick, you're not just helping a person. You're living out the very love that Jesus demonstrated to us. These are the actions that mark the chosen. Not the ones who boast of their good deeds, but the ones who quietly, humbly serve because they understand that this is what Christ has called them to do. Pope Francis' message to believers: love without reward. Pope Francis has consistently reminded us that true love is not about reward or recognition. It is about loving without expectation. When we love with the intention of receiving something in return, we lose the essence of what love is meant to be. The love that Pope Francis speaks of is the love that mirrors Christ's love for us, a love that is freely given, no strings attached. And it is in this love that the chosen ones are most fully revealed. We are called to be a light in the darkness, a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. And that light does not shine for our glory. It shines for God's glory. When we live out divine love, when we serve others without expecting anything in return, we are doing the work of heaven. Love is the signature of heaven, and if you're chosen, it's written all over you. Holiness means doing small things with great love. Pope Francis: holiness is not reserved for the grand stages of life, nor does it wear the robes of recognition. Pope Francis has beautifully shown us that holiness is found in the quiet, humble moments, the small things we do with great love. To many, holiness might seem like something distant, something unattainable. But Pope Francis, in his wisdom and humility, taught us that the path to holiness is not through worldly achievements or grandeur. It is through the simplest acts of love, kindness, and service that the chosen ones shine the brightest. Holiness means doing small things with great love. It's the act of making a cup of tea for someone tired, of holding a door open for a stranger, of whispering a prayer when no one is looking. The chosen are often those who live unnoticed, yet their lives are a living testament to God's love. They don't need the spotlight because their holiness radiates in the small, everyday acts of service that no one might ever see but God. Sacred reminder: the chosen live unnoticed, caring for others, whispering prayers, carrying burdens. The chosen ones often live lives that go unnoticed. They aren't always in the public eye. They aren't seeking praise or accolades. Instead, they quietly care for others, whisper prayers into the silence, and carry burdens that the world may never see. But this is where true holiness is found, in the quiet acts that are done not for recognition, but for love. Pope Francis lived this truth. He didn't need the world to know how he served. He didn't need the applause of men to feel fulfilled. He found joy in the simple acts of serving others. Whether it was cooking for himself in the most humble of kitchens or taking the bus like any ordinary person, Pope Francis embodied a holiness that was rooted in simplicity. He showed us that you don't have to live a life of extravagance to live a life that honors God. Example: Pope Francis cooking for himself, riding the bus, living low, loving high. Pope Francis didn't wear pride. He wore purpose. He didn't need a private chef to cook his meals, nor did he demand special treatment. Instead, he took joy in doing the simple things himself. He could be seen cooking in his modest kitchen, or riding the bus through the streets, just like any other person. These small acts weren't done for show. They were the essence of his holiness. Living low and loving high, Pope Francis showed us that true greatness lies not in how much we have, but in how much we are willing to give. He gave of himself in the most humble ways. And this is the heart of the chosen ones. They don't live to be noticed. They live to serve, love, and honor God in all the little things that others might overlook. Holy simplicity, the legacy of Pope Francis. The legacy of Pope Francis is a legacy of holy simplicity. He didn't seek glory, he sought purpose. He didn't try to build an empire, but a kingdom of love. The simplicity of his life became a powerful testament to the truth that holiness isn't about being seen by others. It's about living a life that reflects God's love in every small, unnoticed act. The chosen live lives of holy simplicity. They might not always have the most lavish possessions, but they have the richest hearts. They may not always be celebrated publicly, but they are deeply known in the eyes of God. Their actions may seem small to the world, but in the kingdom of God, they are monumental. Every prayer whispered, every burden carried, every act of service is seen, and it is holy. Living witnesses, the chosen are God's hidden saints. The chosen ones are often hidden saints, living witnesses to God's grace in the world. They don't make a big show of their actions. Instead, they live quietly and humbly, always serving, always loving, and always carrying the light of Christ within them. In their simplicity, they reveal the heart of God. They show us that holiness is not found in what we do for ourselves, but in what we do for others. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of recognition and the need to be noticed and celebrated. But Pope Francis lived a life that calls us to something greater. He showed us that holiness isn't about what we do for ourselves, but what we do for the world around us. It's in serving others, in living humbly, and in loving without expectation that we become true witnesses to God's love. Pope Francis didn't wear pride, he wore purpose. And that's how the chosen shines. They live lives of humble service, in the quiet acts that are seen by no one but God. They understand that true holiness isn't about being on display. It's about the love we pour into the smallest moments. And it is in these moments, these everyday acts, that the chosen ones live out their divine calling, revealing the heart of God to the world around them. So, let us live like Pope Francis, with purpose in every simple act, loving deeply and serving humbly. This is how we become the living witnesses to God's eternal love. Rivers don't drink their water. Life is lived best in service to others. Pope Francis. Pope Francis has left an eternal legacy. A legacy not bound by titles or institutions, but by the profound wisdom he shared with the world. Rivers don't drink their water, he once said. These words echo with powerful truth, reminding us that life is not meant to be lived for ourselves but in service to others. For the chosen ones, these words carry even greater meaning, because we are not meant to merely listen to the wisdom of God's chosen servants. We are meant to carry it forward, to let it flow through us as living rivers, spreading the divine light into every corner of the world. The wisdom that Pope Francis imparted was never just for Catholics, nor was it confined to a single faith. His teachings transcended religious boundaries and spoke directly to the kingdom of God. They were messages meant for all those who have been chosen to carry God's light into the world. His words, rooted deeply in love, mercy, and humility, are a beacon for the chosen generation, the ones who are called to live with purpose, with grace, and with love in all that they do. Chosen purpose. Pope Francis' wisdom for the kingdom, for the chosen. Pope Francis taught us that true leadership in the kingdom of God is not about power or influence but about service. It's about living a life that reflects Christ's love, not for accolades or recognition, but because this is the true calling of the chosen. As his physical voice falls silent, his message lives on in the hearts of those who truly listen to his teachings. His wisdom was never just for Catholics. It was a universal message for everyone called to serve, to love, and to bring light into the world. The wisdom he left behind is a guide for all chosen ones to follow. It's a call to action, a call to be the living proof of God's love and mercy in a world that often forgets how to show both. For you, the chosen one, his message is clear. Live as a vessel of mercy, as a bearer of light. Let his teachings be the foundation upon which you build your own life of service and love. It is your turn now to be the living embodiment of his legacy. Message: you are now his living legacy. Continue what he started. The death of Pope Francis does not mark the end of his influence. Rather, it marks the beginning of a new chapter in the journey of those who have heard his call. You, the chosen one, are now his living legacy. His voice may be silent, but the echo of his message will resonate through your actions, your words, and your life. This is not just a time of mourning. It is a time of reflection and action. Pope Francis lived a life that was focused on service, humility, and love. His legacy is not just in his words, but in the way he lived his life. Now, it is your turn to continue what he started. Your purpose, as the chosen ones, is to carry the torch of love, mercy, and humility into the world, to make his teachings a living, breathing part of your daily life. You have been chosen for this purpose, to be light bearers, and to continue spreading the message of divine love and service to others. His legacy is now your responsibility. He has shown you the way. Now walk it boldly and with the same humility that he lived with. Pope Francis' eternal legacy, divine light bearers for a chosen generation. Pope Francis' eternal legacy is one of spiritual leadership and selfless service. He was a beacon of hope and love, and now it's our turn to carry that light forward. The chosen generation is called to be the divine light bearers, spreading the love and teachings of Christ to every corner of the world. Pope Francis showed us that leadership is not about being the loudest voice in the room, but the quietest, most humble presence. One that listens, serves, and loves without expectation. As the world continues to change and face challenges, the chosen generation must rise and embody the lessons Pope Francis shared. His life was a constant reminder that true greatness is found in the service of others, in living out the love of Christ even when it seems the world is indifferent. His death may silence his voice, but his legacy continues in every act of kindness, every moment of service, and every life touched by the love he spread. The death of Pope Francis leaves a profound hole in the spiritual landscape of the world, but it also ignites a call to action for those who have been chosen by God. As his earthly presence fades, his spiritual impact grows even more significant. It is now up to you, the chosen ones, to continue the work he started. His life was dedicated to spreading the message of God's love, mercy, and service. Now, it is your mission to carry that light into the world. Pope Francis may be gone, but his message remains. It is written in the hearts of those who have listened, who have followed, and who have lived his teachings. His death is not the end of his story. It is the moment when the torch is passed to you. You are now his living legacy. You are the echo of his words, the continuation of his divine mission. Carry that torch with humility, with love, and with the unwavering commitment to serve others as he did. The world needs your light now more than ever. Pope Francis' voice may now be silent, but you, the chosen one, are now the echo. You are the living legacy of his love, of his message, and of his mission. The wisdom he shared was never just for a specific group. It was for the kingdom of God, for all of us who have been chosen to carry the light of Christ into the world. Now it is your turn. You are the next generation of divine light bearers, called to continue the work of mercy and love that Pope Francis began. The world needs you now more than ever. Will you answer the call? Pope Francis has gone home to the Father. But before he left, he handed you a torch that bears the wisdom of mercy, the light of divine love, and the deep, unwavering hope that the world so desperately needs. His work on earth may have ended, but his mission has not. It is now ours to carry forward. We are the living legacy of his message, called to share that light, embody that mercy, and continue his work of bringing peace, love, and justice into the world. In his time here, Pope Francis taught us that the most powerful force in the world is love. He didn't just speak about love, he lived it. Every gesture, every word, every moment of his life was a reflection of the heart of Christ. He showed us that holiness isn't about grand gestures or public recognition. It's about small, quiet acts of kindness and mercy. It's about living the truth of God's love in everything we do. Whether it's washing the feet of the poor, sharing a meal with someone in need, or offering forgiveness when it feels impossible. As he once said, "A little bit of mercy makes the world less cold and more just." This was more than a statement. It was a call to action, a call to be merciful, to be kind, and to show love, especially to those who seem unlovable, to those who can't repay us. In every act of mercy, we carry the light of Christ. And in every act of love, we bring a little warmth into this often cold and indifferent world. I ask you now, chosen one, to reflect on these words. Pope Francis' legacy is one of mercy, humility, and love. He has handed you this torch. The question is, will you carry it? Will you choose to live out the teachings that have shaped a generation of believers, that have inspired millions to follow Christ more closely? Think of the quote that touched your heart most deeply today. Is it the message of mercy, of loving without expectation? Or perhaps it's the call to be a light in the darkness, to stand firm in your faith when the world seems to be crumbling. Whatever it is, take that message with you. Let it be the guiding principle in your life. Let it be the spark that ignites your passion for serving others, for sharing Christ's love, and for living a life of holiness. Pope Francis has shown us the way. Now it's our turn. At this moment, I invite you to choose one quote, one message that spoke to your soul, and commit to living it out. Let it guide your thoughts, your actions, and your words as you go into the world each day. As we close this tribute to the incredible legacy of Pope Francis, I invite you to share this video. Let others hear these words. Share it with anyone who has been touched by Pope Francis, whose life was a testament to love, humility, and mercy. And if you are feeling called, join me now in this soft prayer. Here I am, Lord. I will carry the light. In this prayer, we find our purpose. It's a simple prayer, but it is profound. It is an act of surrender, of opening ourselves to God's will and saying, I am ready to carry the torch, to live out the teachings of Pope Francis, and to be a living reflection of God's love in this world. Pope Francis may now rest in eternal peace, but his words continue to shape us, to guide us, and to challenge us. The torch he has passed to us is one of light, love, and mercy, and it is our sacred duty to carry it forward, to let it shine brightly in a world that needs it more than ever. Pope Francis' life and legacy will live on in each of us. Let's carry that torch, shining the light of God's love and mercy into every corner of the world.